We're going to let the decision be made for us, hopefully.
They need a quarterback who can protect the ball and not turn it over.
Time for Camp Takes, y'all. According to our friends at Caesars Sportsbook, Kansas City is the overwhelming favorite to win their division for the 5th consecutive season, while both Denver and LA are tied for the second shortest odds at 6-1. Let's focus in on second-year quarterback Justin Herbert right now, though. Sam, you think that he's a top 3 quarterback following this season?
I absolutely do believe that Justin Herbert's going to be a top 3 quarterback by the time this season ends. And here's why. We talk about his arm talent. There's no questions about that. But he has the coach to get him there. So Brandon Staley, he's the new head coach of the LA Chargers. Brandon Staley just coached the #1 defense we saw we do it in LA last year with the LA Rams. He coached me in Chicago, #1 defense 2018. But Brandon Staley is a former quarterback. Brandon Staley coaches defenses from a quarterback's perspective. So Brandon Staley is in Justin Herbert's ear, teaching him everything he needs to know to be the best quarterback in the game. He's got the arm talent, but we always know it's not just about the arm talent. It's about the coaching. It's about the culture. It's about the fit. It's about the match. And let's not say that the LA Chargers don't have the team in place to do it. You've got Keenan Allen, who's one of the best receivers in the game. You've got a defense. No one's talking about Derwin James. No one's talking about Kenneth Murray at linebacker. No one's talking about Joey Bosa at defensive line. So they've got the defense to challenge Kansas City. They've got the team and they've got the coach. I think Justin Herbert will hands down be a top 3 quarterback by the time this season ends.
This is how I would put it. First of all, I disagree. I don't think he'll be top 3, and I thought I was Justin Herbert's biggest fan. By the way, he will be on the Max Kellerman Show on ESPN Radio, 2 p.m. Eastern. Is when the show starts on ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80, the ESPN app. You can download the podcast.
Let him know I think higher of him than you do, because apparently he's a quarterback.
This is what I said. I thought people would accuse me of being hyperbolic when he was ranked 9th in Madden, and I said I actually think by the end of the season there's a chance he might be a top 5. Here's the problem with putting him top 3. I presume it's Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the 2 immovable objects in the top 3. Sam, am I right? I want to see Sam because I want to make sure that I'm right about it.
Look at me. You're absolutely right about that.
Okay,
those
right.
are the
Those
2,
and then there's no one else that special, and so you're putting him there. The problem is Tom Brady just had a tremendous year and won the Super Bowl. He didn't just make a deep run. Well, his team was loaded, true, but he did win the freaking Super Bowl and did face Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes on the way, right? So it's hard for me to leave Brady out of the top 3 until proven otherwise. Russell Wilson, not last year, but over the last 5 or 6 years, if you said who's been the best player overall in football over the last half dozen years, probably Russell Wilson. Tough to replace him. Beyond that, I would say this. I get it. I'd phrase it like this. Justin Herbert has more trade value, maybe than anyone in football, because Mahomes got $500 million coming, right? Justin Herbert's on his rookie deal 1 year in. If Trevor Lawrence pans out this year, he'll be where Justin Herbert is now. Joe Burrow hasn't proven it yet. Trevor Lawrence hasn't proven it yet. Honestly, as good as Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are, I don't think they're as talented as Justin Herbert. So I think his trade value is enormous, and he has a chance to join Mahomes and Rodgers in that top 3 eventually. I don't think it's going to be this season, but I do think top 5 is certainly possible.
And Max, I hear you, but the only point that you really made, the only other person you could put in there is the GOAT, Tom Brady, which I believe, yes, he just won a Super Bowl, like he's a baller. We can't argue against Tom Brady. But what we can say is that the LA Chargers have gotten better at every position. They went and drafted Rashawn Slater to protect his blind side. We all saw Joe Burrow get injured because he had no protection. So they've gotten better on the offensive line. They've gotten better from a coaching perspective. They've gotten better from a defensive perspective. And yes, Russell Wilson over the last 6, 8, 10 years, you could say he's been one of the top players, but we're not talking about the past. We're not talking about the rear view. We're not talking about what happened in 2016 and 17. I'm talking about right now, Max. Right now.
First half
not a long time ago.
And
right now, Justin Herbert looks as good as anybody in the league. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is number 1. Yep. Aaron Rodgers had an MVP season, 48 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing.
And he was competing with those guys right out the gate. He was competing with Mahomes early in the season.
As a rookie quarterback without a coach. Now you've got a brilliant offense. So Brandon Staley has a photographic memory. This dude coached me back in Chicago. You have a brilliant
How many wins for the Chargers?
Mind.
Charlie's trying to get in here. How many wins for the Chargers? Quick.
They're winning. I think they get 10. I think they're 10-7, maybe 11-6. Yes. I'll give them 11-6.
And if we're staying in the right now, look, Justin Herbert, he only needs 29 passing touchdowns this season to become one of 2 players in NFL history, along with Dan Marino, to have 60-plus touchdowns in the first 2 seasons of their career.
Good?
He is that good. Okay, let's stay in the AFC West,
good,
shall
Let him
we?
know. Let him know you don't believe in him. Let him know you don't believe in him.
You get out of here with that.
All right, Gruden's return to the Raiders not exactly gone according to plan. They have the 11th worst record in the league since his return in 2018 and allowing an NFL worst 28.4 points per game in that span. Ooh, not so great. Switching gears right there. Sam, should Gruden be on the hot seat at this point?
John Gruden should have already been fired by this point. I mean, here's the deal. We talk about a 10-year deal. They gave him a 10-year deal. But I'm a business major, business honors, marketing major, got my MBA. There's such thing as a sunk cost. John Gruden right now is a sunk cost for your team. Let me just name a couple names. So Theo Riddick, James Onwualu, Sam Young, all retired in training camp this last week. They all played for the Raiders. For John Gruden. They're like, you know what? I'm out of here. This sucks. I'm gone. Let me give you a couple other names. Brandon Dole, Mark Badane, Kirby Wilson. These are staff members who all retired under John Gruden's rule and reign. Now let me give you some numbers. 8-8, 7-9, 4-12, 6-10. Those are the records that we've seen the last 4 years from the Raiders. John Gruden is not the coach that's going to get this team over Kansas City. He's not the coach that's going to get this team over the LA Chargers. And John Gruden's not even the coach that's going to get this team over the Denver Broncos. I think because of John Gruden, the Raiders are going to be last in the division. They need a new coach, and they need a new coach now.
Hold on. They were what last year?
They were 8-8 last year.
Let's just track this. So he's going into his 4th season, correct, as head coach, right?
Yep.
He takes over a team. Now, they were 12-4 the year before, or a couple years before. And then they had a disappointing season at 6-10. Then they went 4-12 because he tore it down. He traded Khalil Mack. I don't think he knew he's going to be competing against Patrick Mahomes, or even that such a talent could exist at that time. Although they did beat Mahomes the year he won the Super Bowl, and I think that was at Kansas City. They had a really good win. 4-12. Okay, that's terrible because you tore it down. You're going to do it your way. 7-9. That's improvement. 8-8. That's improvement. Now, here's the thing. I agree if you say, you know what, it's not enough improvement given the amount of time. Except when you give a guy a 10-year contract, what you're saying is, we're playing the long game. You're sending him that message, the organization that message, and you understand that, presumably, that you're playing the long game. And so he's going to make decisions with his eye on the long-term prospects of the team, which means he's going to tear it all down and try to do it his way. Dealt Khalil Mack. So actually, 4-12, 7-9, 8-8 is trending in the right direction. In a division, by the way, with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's not a cupcake. If you're trending in the right direction, I can't say you should already be gone. What I can say is that you should be on the hot seat this year. In your 4th year, if you regress or if you're under 500, it's not enough. It's not enough to say, well, we're kind of a middle-of-the-pack team. At a certain point, you got to start making real noise. And I think the point is now. You want to say this year he goes, because they're going to play 17 games, 8-9, and say he's on the hot seat? Okay, but you want him already gone?
Max. Remember that maze you were telling me about? Remember that maze with the New York Knicks? You're like, you're going down the wrong path. Yeah. All of a sudden, like, that's the exact same thing, if not worse. That's the exact same thing, if not worse. The Raiders are not getting better. You might say, oh, wow, they went 7-9. They went 8-8. That's not where you want to go. Like, you want to be an 8-8 team. You want to be an 8-9 team, a 9-8 team. Do you see them winning 10 games this year? No.
Why not?
They're not getting better. Max.
Why not? You don't have a quarterback.
Because of that $500 million dude, Patrick Mahomes, because of the dude that you love and I love. Apparently, I love him more than you, and Justin Herbert. They're not going to win. They're not even going to be top 2 in their division.
So what you're saying is that you can't invent a great quarterback. The quarterback whisperer can't just invent the guy. Carr is fine. He's solid, but he's in a division with super-duper star talents at quarterback. That's on Gruden, that he can't be an alchemist and turn Carr into Patrick Mahomes?
Max, you just told me about the long game, Max. You told me about this grandeur, this amazing 10-year
very
plan.
long game.
Max, they're 4 years in, and the next 3 years don't look pretty. Like Patrick Mahomes is
you're
not
jumping
old.
the gun. You're
Max.
reading the tea leaves and saying, therefore, he should have already been fired. 4-12, 7-9, 8-8 isn't therefore he should have already been gone.
Max, I don't know if you're one of these crazy Raider fans. You got the little eye patch. I don't know what's going on in your head right now,
Max.
Max.
Big Blue, all the way.
I'm telling you, dude, you are tripping. Like, you are tripping. If you think that the Raiders will even compete this year, you think they'll be above 500.